Okay, so last week I was invited along to see probably the person that I look up to the very most on social media and the person who motivates me most on a daily basis in business, in life, in everything. This person is Gary Vaynerchuk.
And have this fan base is there's a lot of people saying hustle. There's a lot of people putting out content. I'm disproportionately trying to bring more value in detail and motivation and effort and engagement.
So Gary is an entrepreneur. He's a businessman here in New York City. He's originally from Belarus. His family moved to New York, and I guess he just worked his way up. He started in a family business. Now he has his own business called VaynerMedia, and in my eyes, he is the king of social media. Gary predicted things like 10 years ago that people laughed at, and now they're happening. When it comes to Gary Vee and why I follow him every single day and why I never miss his videos and I never miss anything he does, to be honest, is because he adds value. Like every time I watch something belong to him, I learn. And I love fashion and I love bags and shoes and handbags and all that, but at the end of the day, more than any of that, I love business. I love entrepreneurship. I love constantly learning and growing and developing and coming up with new ideas and new plans, and that's what I'm interested in most. So as a result, someone like Gary to me is like someone who I guess get so much inspiration from, and he really motivates me on a daily basis. So after the event, I kind of had this idea in my head, you know what, I've learned so much from Gary Vaynerchuk that I want to do a video, because not everyone has time to watch people's videos or to do this every day. So I figured, why not create a video where I kind of comprise a very kind of short synopsis of 5 of the main lessons he has taught me and show you how I've applied them. Because I think the problem is that there's all these people online and they're constantly telling you things. They're telling you what you should do. They're telling you advice, top tips, blah, blah, blah. And you watch them and you probably spend like maybe a half an hour of your day watching these people telling you what you should be doing. But quite often they forget to tell you like how to do it. So they tell you what you should be doing, but they don't tell you how to do it. So what I want this video to be today is that just a quick synopsis of things I've learned from Gary. So 5 main lessons I've learned from Gary over the last 2 or 3 years of following him, and show you how I've applied them to my career and my life. So it might show you and give you inspiration about how you can apply it. So yeah, in short, I want to just give you practical examples of how I applied advice which I think is invaluable, and applied it to my daily life and my career and my business, and I saw results. Okay, so lesson number 1 from Gary Vee: always bet on your strengths. What does this mean? This means step back, sit down for 10 minutes, and I want you to do this after I finish this video. Sit down and write down a list of things you're good at, things you know in your heart and soul that you are good at. You're able to do them, you're happy with how you do them, and that's your expertise. And then on the other side of the page, write down things you are just not good at. They're just not you. As much as you try and as much as you try to learn, you don't fully enjoy doing these things. Look at these 2 lists and tell yourself, okay, these are my strengths on this side. This is what I'm going to focus on. This is what I'm supposed to do every day. And if I can focus on my strengths, that'll make up for all my weaknesses. Okay, and this is a big lesson I learned. So I remember when I moved to New York, or even when I was kind of in college, I kind of always thought that I had to do everything. Nobody else could do anything for me. I couldn't bring in anyone to help me. I had to do it all myself, and I was trying to run Retro Flame, and I guess with blogging, you know, creating is a huge part of it, and taking pretty pictures and doing outfit pictures. And I remember I would have my friends and family help me take the pictures from my blog, and then I would spend hours editing them for my blog, and I hated it so much. Like I probably did it for like 3 or 4 years before I actually like bit the bullet and got proper help with it. And I remember being like, oh my god, this is just, why am I doing this? I hate it. I love the writing and I love putting the outfits together, and I love that side of it. But when it came to like editing the pictures and like going out and having someone shoot them and telling them what to do and they didn't really know either, I hated it so much, and it would just turn me off doing things. And as a result, it would affect the kind of other side of it, and it would almost make me not want to do it, you know, even though I enjoyed every other part of it. So I moved to New York, and even before I moved to New York, I hired a photographer. That is one thing I'm not good at. I'm gonna bet on my own strengths. I'm gonna do what I'm good at, and I'm gonna get somebody in to help me to, you know, be the full circle of the project. And I'm telling you, I've never looked back. I never do my photos really, like the odd time I will for the blog, but now I always have help. I like shoot with a photographer here in New York, maybe like once a week. We shoot my looks, we shoot any projects I'm doing, and they send me the pictures. They just send them to me 100% ready, and I put them onto my blog, and I do everything else myself. So what I'm trying to say is figure out what you're good at and really work at that. If you're a good writer, you focus on writing. If you're a good photographer, you focus on photography. No one's not like, there's nobody that's brilliant at everything. So focus on your strengths, really work on them, and I guarantee you things will be a lot easier. Okay, lesson number 2, care. Okay, so Gary Vee, I remember watching one of his videos, and I think it could have been actually in one of his books. I've read most of them at this stage, and I'll definitely do a separate video on that soon. But I remember one of his books, and someone was like, okay, so what's your best marketing strategy? This like big question, and his very simple answer was care. Care about people, care about your customers, care about the people who've put you in this position to have a business, or whatever it may be. And it really stuck with me. And with Retro Flame, like without people who watch these videos and without people who read my blog and like my photos and comment and engage, I'd have absolutely nothing. So I can't like ever take that for granted. So for example, how I put that into practice every day is I reply to every single Snapchat. And it's really funny, people are still so shocked, because I guess there's probably bloggers maybe at the same level following as me, or like even lower or higher, whatever it may be, that close their Snapchats or don't reply. So you could Snapchat someone, you mightn't be able to Snapchat one of your favorite bloggers because they've decided to close their Snapchat and you can't interact. And I just think that's absolutely bizarre. Like I really do. I just think it's bizarre. It's social media, it's interaction. You have to be able to talk to your community and they have to be able to talk to you. And it's one thing I've always promised to do. I will always try my very best to reply to people. It might take me a few days on Instagram, it might take me a few days on YouTube, but with Snapchat, it's instant. If you send me a Snapchat, 99% of the time, unless something is going a bit crazy or I'm like on the go or I'm sick or something, I don't know, I will reply to you because I care. I care that you've taken the time to follow me, A, and B, send me a message or send me a question. And that's what I'm here for, to answer your questions and to guide you along as well, because I appreciate you following me. So that's how I applied that lesson, and I want to keep that forever. I don't care if I eventually get big or if I keep growing, that will never change. I'll never stop caring, and I think that's a very important lesson to learn both in life and in business. Okay, and the next thing Gary always talks about is overnight success and how much he hates that term. He just does not believe that overnight success is a thing or will ever be a thing. And I love this because I think often people can look at other people and be like, oh, they just got lucky. I mean, it just all came together for them and blah de blah de blah, now they're doing great, and it was just all luck. And I followed Gary for a long time, as I said, and it's something that he always brings up. He's like, things do not happen overnight. Ever. Like nothing worth having comes easy, and that's like one of the quotes I live by every single day, and it's one that I will continue to live by, and I just think it's so true. If you want something and if it's worth having, you have to work, and it's not going to happen overnight. So I remember I actually watched a video, I think it was maybe like yesterday or the day before, and he was talking about luck and how luck is when opportunity and preparation meet. So he was saying that some of his biggest business deals have come from like different scenarios and like all these little bits and pieces like lining up eventually, and then bam, the opportunity comes. It's not because he's lucky, it's because the preparation, the years or the weeks or the months before have led him to this opportunity, and then he gets the opportunity. So yeah, that's a lesson that I've definitely taken on board, and it's something that I really do believe in myself. And I always say that there's certain things I do, or certain events I go to, or people I meet, or jobs I do, or projects I work on, I'm always like, oh, is this even worth my time? But I know in the long run, all those little steps will lead to the opportunity, and then the bigger opportunity will come. So I love that one from Gary Vee, and I do always incorporate that into every day. Every little job I do, I think, you know what, this is leading to something else. It's not going to happen overnight, but all these small pieces are going to come together, and then I'll get my big break as such. So yeah, never underestimate the power of hard work. And lesson number 4, keeping on the whole work conversation. That's a big thing in his eyes. Like, I think Gary Vee has kind of like, I wouldn't say he's come up with the word hustle, but when you think of Gary Vee, a lot of his branding, a lot of the things he talks about is hustle, and how without hustle and work and dedication, you're going nowhere. So for example, if you have a full-time job and you're doing that job to earn money and to save and just to kind of get to the next place, but it's not really what you want to be doing. There's something else, like your side hustle as such is what you want to grow into your business. And he always says, like, you know, you have your 9 to 5 and then you have your like 6 to 12 or 6 to 1 a.m. and it's those hours that are important. And if you want something, and if you want that side hustle to become your main job, then that's where the work has to go in. And I remember watching those videos when I was in my full-time job, and I wrote a big blog post about this, and I linked that below, and I definitely will do a video on how I kind of transitioned from my full-time job into Retro Flame to be my full-time job. And I remember watching the videos back then, and you know, I'd work, my job then was probably like, we started at 9, I'd finish around 7 every day, and then it was those hours from 7 till 12 or 1 or 2 a.m. that's where the work had to be put in, and it wasn't easy. I mean, there was nights that I wanted to go out, or I wanted to go to bed, or I just wanted to relax, but I knew that if I wanted to get to the stage where Retro Flame was what I worked on every single day, and sit here like 2 o'clock on a Thursday and film a video for Retro Flame, then I knew the work had to go in those hours. So I listened to him and I put that work in, and then thankfully it all came together for me too, and I went full-time at Retro Flame back in March. So whatever you're doing right now, or if you're in a job that maybe you like, but it's not the long term, you have something else on the side, you want to do something else, you want to do your own thing, you kind of want to start something that you've always wanted to do, then that work has to be put in at the weekends, in the evenings. And he's a bit more harsh than me and he's always like, you know, stop watching those Netflix shows in the evenings, and stop, you know, going out drinking or doing things that aren't helping you to get to that level. And you can't talk about getting like something to be your full-time, or getting your passion to become your job, if you are watching Netflix in the evening, or if you are wasting time as such. And I think when I did hear him say that on one of his videos, it really just hit home, and I was like, you're so right. Like, how do I expect to get Retro Flame further if I'm not putting the work in? So that really stuck with me, and I'm really appreciative for that video that he did do about that, because it definitely motivated me to keep going to Retro Flame in the evenings and the weekends, and here I am. So hopefully you can take that advice on board too if you were in a similar situation to me. And finally, tip, advice, idea number 5 from Gary Vee is stick to your DNA. And this is kind of an interesting one, and I guess it's kind of similar to the bet on your strengths one, but there is a bit of a difference. And in my eyes, this means, and he always says it as well, you know, just stick to who you are. Like, stop looking at other people and kind of thinking, okay, well, they're doing that and that's working for them. If I just copy that and try to be them, then I'll do well as well. It does not work like that. And to be honest, that will never get you anywhere, and it won't get you to the place that you will be 100% happy, because it's not who you are. And I think with him, I remember at the event actually the last night, someone asked him, you know, do you get in trouble for cursing so much when you do talks? And he was saying that because he curses quite a lot when he does those like public speaking talks, and I guess as a result a lot of brands or schools or businesses won't have him in talking because it's kind of against their like ethos or whatever it may be. And someone said to him, you know, does it matter that you're losing this money just because you're like, you won't stop cursing as such in the talks? And he said, no, This is me. If they don't want me for that, like, then I'm not going. Like, this is me, I'm not going to change that. And he's like, he said that he didn't start off with the goal of being a public speaker. He started off trying to grow his family's wine business and trying to grow VaynerMedia, his digital agency, and trying to grow his own brand. And he never had the goal that he's going to be a public speaker. So that just kind of happened, and he's not going to change the person he is now just to make more money. And I thought that was really interesting. And it's like, I guess it's that money side of it too. I see in the blogging industry especially that all these females and males and whoever it may be, I see them doing certain jobs and doing certain collaborations, and I just sit back and I'm like, oh, that is so not you. Like, it's so obvious you're just doing that for the paycheck, and it kills me to watch it. And I promised, after watching Gary Vee and watching his, like, really about sticking through to your DNA and sticking through to you, I promised that I would always be myself. And some people might like it, some people mightn't like it, but at least I know at the end of the day that this is me, and I'm giving it my best shot. So yeah, I think that's a really, really important one to probably keep in mind, more than even the rest of them, that you have to stay true to yourself, and when you do, the other things will fall into place. Have this clear vision. I want to do this. This is who I am. This is the way I'm going to do it. And it can be hard because social media surrounds us every day, and comparison is very easy to do, and you know, you might even realize it, but you might be copying someone just because you like the way they're doing it, and then you think that's you, but it's not. So it's very important to just sit down once a week and remind yourself of your goals and your DNA and your personality, and stick to that. And I think that's a big lesson I've learned from Gary Vee. And okay, that was a lot of talking. Sorry, I feel like I just have so much to talk about when it comes to this kind of conversation, and especially about Gary Vee and all that motivational stuff. And hopefully you like this video. I would love to do more videos like this and kind of split it up into different topics, and you know, get creative with this too. So be sure to let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I'll be more than happy to do them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow Gary Vee as well. I promise you, he's amazing, and I wouldn't come on and do a video today about just anyone. I truly think that he's helped me in so much, career-wise and life-wise, and just perspective, and I know that so many of you will love him too. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.